Troyia Monay, back to y'all with another video. Today's video is super exciting as usual. Today's video is going to be all about the do's and the don'ts of starting your very own online boutique. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you check out my previous video, how I started my online boutique. I gave you guys all of the key elements. I gave you guys step-by-step instructions, all the tea on how you can start your very own online boutique. Make sure you guys go ahead and rate, comment, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Turn on that notification bell so you're always notified when I upload a new video. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you guys go ahead and follow my business consulting page at Her Hustle Academy, and make sure you guys go ahead and book a one-on-one coaching session with your girl. I'm excited to help you guys out on more so of a personal basis. I know I come on here and give you guys advice, but I love when I'm able to dive deeper into your brands and just get to know you and give you guys some of my expertise and advice that way. So yeah, let's just go ahead and hop right on into these do's and don'ts, honey. Make sure you guys go ahead and grab your notebook, your pen and paper, all of that good stuff, because of course I'm going to be giving you guys the tea on the do's and don'ts of starting your very own online boutique. All right. Let's go ahead and hop right on in. So first we're going to do all of the do's, and then we're going to go ahead and do all of the don'ts. So let me just tell y'all what y'all need to do first, and then I'm going to tell y'all what y'all don't need to do last. So the first do is look into a tax expert or an accountant. I got my computer here, so that's why I'm looking down. I took good notes for y'all as always. So yes, do look into a tax expert or an accountant, y'all. This is very important. This is probably one of the most important things on this list, is to get in contact with somebody who is good with taxes and get in contact with somebody who is a good accountant, y'all. Taxes is probably the hardest thing that you're gonna have to understand when it comes to opening up any business. Excuse me. Taxes are so important. It's hard to keep track of sales and all of these other numbers that you have to keep up with for tax purposes. So make sure that you are reaching out to someone who is an expert in that field if you aren't, and just get you know, some insight there, because it is difficult, and it is definitely one of the #1 things that I wish I would have did when I first started, was to just reach out to an accountant or a tax expert, so that way they can handle all my bookkeeping and all of that good stuff. Next thing I would say is to create a launch strategy and build anticipation. Y'all, this is super important as well. You want to build up anticipation before you launch. You want your launch to be exciting. You want it to be like a party in a way. You want people in your target audience, you want your consumers to be super excited about this launch. This way they're more inclined to purchase from you, and you're more inclined to make sales. So your launch strategy should be really exciting, whether it be a campaign, whether you're doing like a giveaway on launch day. You want it to be something super exciting, so that way your audience knows, dang, this is dope. It really just sets the tone for the rest of your business moving forward. Your launch is super important, because if you have a boring launch, then 9 times out of 10 the rest of the next couple months of your business might be a little dry, unless you have something planned later on down the line. But you really want your launch strategy to be super important. You really want it to be super exciting as well. The next do is you do want to start building up your email list and your text messaging list. Y'all, this goes hand in hand with your launch strategy as well. You need to start creating an email and text list ASAP. At least 1 month before you launch, you need to start collecting emails and phone numbers. This will allow you to have a streamlined communication with your audience. You're able to communicate with them. You're able to show them the collection early. You're able to give them any discount codes. You have a form of communication, and I would definitely say that text marketing works best for me in my business. Email marketing just doesn't work for me. I know people within my target audience, they just don't read emails. Everyone always has their phone on them, so text marketing works best for me, but I know email marketing does work really good for a lot of other businesses as well. So make sure that you guys are getting that email list together, getting that text message list together, because it is super important. Not everyone uses social media all the time, so you definitely need another line of marketing, another marketing resource to take advantage of, to be able to communicate with your audience, because you know, people aren't usually strolling through social media all day. So if they are on like a social media fast, you still want them to be in tune with your brand. So text marketing and email marketing are definitely great ways to do that. The next do is super important as well, and that is to open a business bank account before you launch. This is very important. You need a way to separate your business finances from your personal finances, period. Do not mix your business finances and your personal finances together. That is the biggest no. Just no. Just don't do it. That is the biggest mistake that you can make as a business owner, because when it is time for you to go ahead and purchase inventory, when it's time for you to go ahead and purchase different resources, different operational resources, having that money mixed in with your personal is just too confusing. So you really want to make sure you open up that business bank account, and it helps a lot when it comes to filing taxes and when it comes to taking advantage of some of those resources, whether you want to open business credit or not. Also, make sure you guys go ahead and watch my previous video. I think it's called How I Organize My Business Finances or something like that. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out that video if you need more advice on business finances and all of that good stuff. Really good video on how I break down my finances and the different bank accounts that I use to organize them. So the last do I have on here is do research the industry and create a competitor audit. This one is super important as well. There's tons of boutiques popping up every single day. So you really need to research the industry, see what's working for these other boutiques and these other businesses. Take little snips and pieces of what they're doing. I'm not telling you to copy. I never suggest copying at all. But there might be an element of someone's boutique that you're like, dang, I kind of like that. I want to put my little spin on it. I like that. There's something that you might say, I do not like that. Let me take note of that so that way I don't incorporate that into my own brand. So it's super important that you research the industry. This is free data that you're able to collect and put your own spin on it. See what works for other businesses and see what doesn't. Right here I have written down, researching the industry gives you insight on how you can make your businesses stand out amongst the rest, which is super important. So when you're researching the industry, you can see what other businesses are doing, and you know not to do that because it's already been done. If you don't research the industry, you probably will come up with the same idea as another business owner, and it won't really necessarily make you stand out, especially if that brand is what do I want to say, especially if that brand is well known. So make sure that you are researching the industry. Use hashtags to research the industry. Go on Instagram, go on social media, use Google to just see the other businesses that are out there and see different elements that you can incorporate into your own business. Also, make sure you guys go ahead and create a competitor audit. This is super important. You want to look into brands that you might find that are similar to your brand. So for example, one of my clients right now, she is a faith-based business. So I encourage her to look into other faith-based businesses, see what they're doing, see the different elements, the different marketing tools that they are implementing within their business. Take notes from that, incorporate that into your business, but never copy. So I think competitor audits are very important, just so that way you can see what your competitors are doing and take notes on that. So moving on into the don'ts, let's hop right on in. The first don't is to do not rush your launch, y'all. This is super important. Do not rush your launch. And this is something that I kind of struggled with in the beginning too, is because I was like, okay, I have this idea, it's dope, let's go ahead and let's launch it. Nah, you really want to take your time with launching. You want to make sure that you have everything lined up, you have everything planned for, everything accounted for. And a lot of people mess up on this part. They rush their launch and then 2 months later they're rebranding. It shouldn't be like that. If you took your time launching, you launched your business and you planned your business exactly according to how you wanted it. You don't have to create a relaunch strategy because you started planning and you created the brand that you wanted from the very start. So that's why I say do not rush your launch at all. This helps prevent rebranding. If you take your time creating the brand you truly want in the beginning, you won't have to rebrand. Take your time throughout the planning process. Research and make sure all factors align before launching. Definitely take your time when you are relaunching. Do not rush your launch at all. The next don't is to don't over purchase inventory and do not overspend. Spending too much inventory can lead to a really big problem. When you're over purchasing inventory, you are stuck with a lot of inventory that you may not be able to get rid of unless you implement some really good marketing strategies. So it's important when you're first starting out to not over purchase inventory. I always recommend purchasing 1 pack per style, unless you are someone who has a bigger name for themselves, unless you are someone who has a social media following, you already have an audience who is anticipating your launch. So if you don't, only purchase 1 pack per style. So that whether that be too small, too medium, too large, that's it. If you are someone who already has brand recognition, I would recommend purchasing 2 to 3 packs per style. Even that could even be a little bit much because you really want to just sit and collect that data to see what's selling for your business and what isn't. So do not overspend on branding materials. So whether that be business cards, shipping supplies, and all of that good stuff, really make sure that you are budgeting and you're allocating money towards the right things. So do not overspend. The next thing is do not overprice or underprice your inventory, y'all. This is super important. I highly recommend you guys stopping what you're doing right now and go ahead and turning into my previous video of how to price your inventory. This is super, super important. Do not lowball yourself and do not overcharge either, because when you overcharge, of course, nobody's going to purchase. When you undercharge, a lot of your audience and a lot of your consumers are going to be like, I don't even want to purchase this because I feel like it's going to be a cheap material. I feel like it might be cheap quality. So you really have to find that even balance in the middle when it comes to pricing your inventory, so that way you're not lowballing yourself and you're not, purchasing or offering something that's too high. The next don't is to do not buy social media followers, y'all. This is super important. I can literally go on the boutique's page and tell, okay, yep, they bought their social media followers. It's just not organic, and you can really, really tell. And that's another way that you won't see sales if you buy social media followers. Your analytics will be screwed, and you really, really want your analytics to be as organic as possible, y'all. Buying social media followers is just a big no. You want to build your social media up organically, so that way when it's time for you to take advantage of ads and when you're checking off your Google Analytics or your social media analytics, all of your analytics are 100% accurate. If they're not 100% accurate, it's just going to show you a bunch of random people that you have on your social media who aren't even your audience at all. Just a bunch of random factors, and you don't want that at all. Your audience will not be accurate. Buying followers will completely destroy your social media analytics. Very, very true. Do not buy your followers. Grow your social media organically, and you will get the following that you need, as long as you are doing all of your marketing tactics and your social media marketing tactics as well. Last but not least, the biggest don't over on this list is to do not underestimate the value of collecting data. Y'all, this is very important as well. You should be collecting data every single day, whether it be a mental note or whether it be you actually writing down any data points that you're noticing. You should be collecting data every single day. And what I mean by this is when you're strolling on Instagram and you see a boutique doing something similar or something that you think is cool, you should be collecting that data. You should be writing it down. How are they selling that piece of merchandise? How are they marketing? How are they selling that piece of merchandise? How is that merchandise selling for them at this exact time? You want to take notes, but like I said earlier, you never want to copy at all. When you're posting on social media and you get a lot of attention on one post, that's an indicator that that post is something that you should implement more in the future. So let's say you do a video of you walking with your outfit on. You need to incorporate more of that content, especially if it gets a lot of love, especially if it gets a lot of like and a lot of attention. So that's something that you definitely should take a note of. Let's say you have a jacket, this jacket for example, and you notice, dang, this jacket sold out real fast. That's an indicator that you need to either restock that jacket or you need to incorporate something that is similar to that item, because obviously your audience likes it. So that is free data telling you, hey, this item sells great, add more of it to your site. So that is free data that you definitely need to consider and write down and take note of. But yeah, y'all, these are all of the do's and the don'ts of opening your online boutique. I'm super excited to be back on YouTube giving you guys more videos. But yeah, you guys, that is all of the do's and don'ts of opening your online boutique. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up in my business consulting page at Her Hustle Academy. Do not send any further DMs to my personal page, and please do not send any DMs to my boutique page. If you send a DM to my boutique page, I'm just going to ignore it, just because I use that more so for just customer service and all of that good stuff. So make sure you guys are hitting me up in the at Her Hustle Academy DM, and I'll answer any questions that you guys may have. If the question is a little bit too elaborate, I'm definitely going to advise you to do a coaching session with me, just because I want to be able to give you good advice and be able to take my time answering your question. So I'm super excited to be back on YouTube, and I'm excited to see what's to come in 2021. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.